Hello and welcome, beautiful ones. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And we are going to talk about staying organized, basically, but trying to break it down into bite sized pieces for those of us who get overwhelmed easily. And if you're in my group, you've already seen the other video because sometimes I do a group video and then I do the YouTube video, and sometimes it's one and the same. You never know. But today I'm feeling like, I need to do a separate one for YouTube. I need to start going live on YouTube, but I don't feel that I have the base as I do in my group. One thing I do want to mention, I am doing a vampire chat on YouTube in October of 2021. I always try to make sure I stamp it with the year somehow. But I'm going to be starting on that. So you can join the group. The link will be in the comments. But anyway, getting back on track. So if you are the type that looks around and sees a billion things to do and feel overwhelmed, this is for you. So my friend sent me these pictures of how she had tidied up and it was looking really good, and I was like, I want to do that, but I can't. And I can't, again, can't. That was something that was coming up to me. Can't. And I'm like, no, you got to stop that. Because one of my resolutions is not making excuses for myself. Instead, I'm going to find a way. If it takes me more energy to say I can't, or to think about something and not do anything about it, or if it takes me more energy to find an excuse after an excuse after an excuse, then I can find a resolution. It may not work, but at least I'm going to be looking at things proactively instead of standing on the sidelines saying I can't or that's not going to work, because that has never worked for me when I've, just succumbed to the idea that something is not going to work, and neither is that, neither is that. It's about finding a way. So I think I'm happy with, that resolution, because it did lead me to, okay, you're not happy with this. You've seen that, how it can feel when, you tidy up an area and it looks good and you're feeling all clear and things like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take it in bite-sized pieces. So there were these papers that I kept saying, oh gosh, they're just building up and they're piling up. It wasn't anything big or major or anything like that. It was just things I kept telling myself, I need that, I need that. And so I'd keep it out in this little, it's like a square box, and I kind of had it, stuffed in there. And it just looked so tacky. And so finally I put it and I moved it to another box where I keep things that I may need, but is more organized because it's in its own place. It's not out in the open. It's not in my space, but I know where it is. So that gave me peace of mind. I don't need it right here in my vision. I can put it where it's safe, where I know where it is. And that gave me the peace of mind too, because a lot of us, I think that do feel overwhelmed, or we think that we need something. If we know where it's at, it does give us a sense of peace and that peace of mind, and that is so valuable. So I'm like, okay, that looks even better. Well, now everything starts looking stale because it looks the same. And I can't move anything because, it's got its own place. And I said, wait, no, not can't, we're not doing that. So I swapped things, just a simple, I started putting all the little trinkets that I have out, because I love trinkets. I like little figurines and things like that. But when you collect them, or when you're going through something else and you're like, oh, I haven't had this one out in a while, and you put it with the ones that are already compiling, you're not keeping up with it. So then it starts looking cluttery. So I took those, put those into a box, and now I feel a little bit clearer about that. And then I took that box that was on this side and moved it here. So that gave it a little bit of a different feel. I took the things that were over there and moved it here. I mean, it's that simple. And all of a sudden it looks like this new space. And I'm like, okay, so I can move things around and it's going to be okay. Worlds are not going to collide, universes will not implode because of that. So I was like, okay, so, keep going with it. And, I do still have some clutter out, but what I have out now is manageable. it's not so overwhelming that I don't know what's what. And I think that that just really gave me a lot of this ambition that, okay, it's okay. Um, you know, that I might need those at some point, but I know where they're at. They're safe now. And the same thing is when I try to go through drawers, I start getting overwhelmed. And part of that is because I look at it and I say, you know, there's so much, or I need all those clothes. You know, there's the belief that one of these days I'm going to be thin enough to fit into my old clothes again. And, you know, things like that. So there's that, and it may be time to get rid of them because by the time I can fit into them, they may be obsolete by then. I'm not going to be wearing, you know, clothes that are a little bit outdated. They're already at least, I'd say at least 5 years old, you know, and cardigans never go out of style. That's where I'm kind of torn. I like to have that kind of professional goth look sometimes. And, you know, especially when I'm, you know, when I'm out and about or something like that, you know, just a very, you know, kind of that, like, you know, basically what people wear in Lifetime original movies. They don't really have much style, but sometimes I like that. You know, sometimes I kind of like to just be a little bit more low key or a little bit more professional or toned down or whatever. But anyway, back on topic. So, instead of going through the whole entire drawer at one, or the whole chest at one time, go through one drawer and, you know, kind of maybe sort things out. You know, keep the one kind of clothes over here and the other here, like if they have different feels or different color or however you're sorting them, because I have my it does get blurred after a while, as with anything. Um, but I have my goth drawer and then I have my more professional look, and, you know, and I have everything kind of sorted. And then, you know, like I said, it does get blurred after a while. Um, but going through one drawer at a time, then when you have, we'll use mine as the example. So I have my professional clothes here, and then I have my goth stuff. Well, if I have it organized and I go through the next drawer and I, you know, sort it in the same way, I can take my professional clothes and put them in the next one and take all the goth ones from the other and, you know, put it in the other drawer instead of just all of a sudden having a mishmash of clothes everywhere. It's easier to do one at a time and then put things accordingly to where you've assigned them. This is one of the things that I have difficulty with because I need to assign a spot to something before I can move forward. When that spot is in constant change, such as me taking my clothes and not, you know, putting them where they belong, when it's constantly changing, you know, it's easy to get into the idea that basically, you know, you just kind of let it fall to the wayside. But if you kind of keep up with it, it's a little bit easier. But also, you know, I've gotten spoiled to, oh, I know how to go through the drawers now. So it's become easier for me to do that than it used to be. And now I'm starting to take that for granted. That, oh, I just have to, you know, find my method. And, you know, so there's, I think, the downfall. When we become confident with something, we take it for granted a little bit. Um, what else is there? So basically, like I said, you know, I took this one little square box and I arranged everything in it. I kind of just started working just bite-sized pieces, nothing major. I assigned I do have places for some things, and then I assign places for others. So for me, again, when I assign an area for something, it's easier for me to break it down. Another thing that really helps me, break down the points where you have, like, you know, you come across something that's miscellaneous. Break that down. Put a box out for that, because you can always go through the miscellaneous stuff later and, you know, put those in designated areas. But, you know, if you just leave them out, sometimes it feels like they're just growing and expanding and multiplying, and then all of a sudden you feel overwhelmed from that. I know that feeling myself. But if we have designated areas and then have that miscellaneous pile, we can go through that and sort it even further after that point. So, those are some things on kind of staying on task with being, not becoming so overwhelmed that we can't get things done. And I know that a lot of us, we struggle with even dishes, because we look around and it's like it grows. Like I said, it's that feeling that everything is multiplying. But remembering that it's never as bad as it seems, that's what helps me to get started on dishes. And so it actually can break my mind away from what I'm struggling with and give me a moment to where I'm on my feet, I'm doing something, I'm busy, and then I can take care of whatever else is coming along, and I feel a little bit more empowered by that because I am the type that I will sit down and I will look around and I'll worry about everything that needs to be done. And, coming to that realization that worrying about it isn't going to make it go away. It's just going to delay me in doing what I need to do. So, it's very much an aspect of self-care. So, if you are still with me, challenge yourself to do one thing, one small thing, no matter what it is. Organize a small box. Organize one drawer. Doesn't have to be your biggest drawer. It can be the smallest one. Just one thing. Doesn't matter what it is. And I think that could help to, bring about that sense of, okay, so I got this done, and then jump to the next. At your time and at your pace. Don't feel like you've got to rush it. Just, biggest thing there. Make sure that you are working at your pace. Do what you need to for you. And I really hope that helps in some way. I'm going to go ahead and log off for now, and I will catch up with you guys later. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I'm not sure if it's this week or I don't remember when. It's coming up soon. Anyway, I'm going to be getting a new color power chain. Right now it's red, so I got my red bracelets and earrings and everything. But I'm really excited because I'm kind of growing, I like the red, but I'm kind of growing weary of it at this point. I am fickle. I like to change things up. So I think that there's a couple more times that I'll have the red until I show up next time. And then who knows, it may be blue. Don't think I'm going to go with the green again unless it's like a bright spring green or something. But the dark green was just, it wasn't that pretty. Anyway, I'll be catching up with y'all later. Have a wonderful day.